My doctor was shocked about how much I weighed. This girl really was like, she looked at the scale, she's like, damn. Silently said it under her breath as if I didn't hear, like, I did hear you. So I went to the doctor's and she's like doing, like, the nurse is doing like all my checkups, like my height and my weight. I step on the scale and it's 150 pounds. Well, it actually showed up in 150. I'm like, that's like a healthy range. And she replies with, no, most women would not like to see that number. I'm like, what? Like, is that like too heavy? Like, I'm 5'9". She's like, well, I'm not too sure. It's honestly personal preference. And then she continues to say, most women would not like to see that number. And I look at her and I'm like, what? Like, I'm happy to be like 150. She's like, okay, sweetheart. I was just like, I walk out.
I'm a doctor of internal medicine, and I have no idea why a doctor would ever act like that. One is there should be a neutral reaction when you see a patient's weight on the scale. And then after seeing that number, you should ask the patient how they feel about that number and then let that guide the conversation. Number two is if this woman is 5'9" and weighs 150 pounds, her BMI is around 22, which is definitely within the healthy range. This is the ranges here. But BMI is a terrible indicator of overall health. So for example, I'm 5'10", and usually when I'm not cutting, weigh around 185 pounds, which puts my BMI above 25, which would mean I'm overweight. I am not overweight. So instead of using BMI alone for health, there's a multitude of other things you could do, such as waist circumference, which is super easy to do in the clinic. Other things such as measuring body composition or visceral fat are a little bit harder, but you can still do it. So to end with, one data point with one test does not indicate your overall health. And if you have a doctor that is doing that, just find a different doctor. Let me know down in the comments your stories and if you've had similar experiences with your doctors.